What's up guys, it's your IVF bestie, and today I'm going to be talking about a modified natural cycle for your embryo transfer. So the first thing is, I do want to mention I am not a medical professional. This is me reading things online and just adding commentary that I have received from the professionals, and I'm kind of regurgitating it back to you, and it may not be 100% correct, and it's going to be how I took the information. So let's read what Google says a modified natural cycle is in IVF. So a modified natural IVF cycle uses your body's natural hormones to grow a follicle, adding medication trigger to precisely time ovulation. It is a popular lower medication approach used for both modified natural cycle and in vitro fertilization. Modified natural cycle, I have done that twice. So my first embryo transfer was a fully medicated. I will not talk about that in this video, but hopefully another video to come. So the modified natural cycle is, in my opinion, there's three options. We have the fully medicated, the partially medicated, and then no medicated. So I'm only going to be talking about the partially medicated today. And again, that is the modified natural cycle. So I'm going to read you how it works. So instead of using heavy suppression and high dose estrogen, progesterone to quiet the ovaries, as seen in fully medicated or programmed cycles, a modified natural cycle works in harmony with your natural rhythm. For the modified natural cycle, what's going to happen is you are going to start your period, and from there, they are going to tell you when to start taking active birth control. You'll take the birth control for however long you need. I have been told some people actually are on it for months because they need it. I have only ever been on it between 10 and 15 days. So not very long at all. The length that I was on it depended on when the clinic was open, which I am not a huge fan of, but basically the clinic only did embryo transfers every other week. So they tried to keep me on their schedule, which kind of stinks because every time they try to keep me on their schedule, I end up not being on their schedule, and then I end up just having the embryo transfer at their clinic anyway. They're like, oh, we're gonna make it work and we're gonna make it happen, instead of making me drive 2 hours to a huge clinic that they also offer. That part's kind of weird, but that's just like a my clinic thing. You are taking birth control, then you stop. Then they put you on a different medication after you are seen the first time. That is your first monitoring appointment, and that is your lining check. That is to see where you are at baseline. For example, I went in on a Monday after stopping my birth control on Friday, and they said, yep, everything looks good. Go ahead and start your 5 days worth of medication. I started that medication that night. So from Monday to Friday, I took one pill every single day. Then I stopped on Friday. I wasn't seen again until Wednesday the following week, and that's when they fully start watching everything and how you're progressing. So at that appointment, they checked out my lining, and then they also checked out my eggs. So why do they look at your eggs? Well, because they're gonna follow your natural cycle. So they want you to have a normal cycle, and they're gonna watch your eggs so that they know when you're about to ovulate. So at your monitoring appointments, it could be 2 appointments back to back. It could be 2 weeks worth of appointments if you're slow like me. I actually had, let me think, I had 1, 2, 3, I think I had about 5 appointments to monitor because there was lining in my fluid. There were very slow growing eggs. They even thought about putting me back on like an estrogen medication to try and get my eggs to grow. But fortunately, my body started making that change itself, and it didn't need any more medication. So I got the go ahead and I did a trigger. After that trigger, that is essentially telling your eggs, hey, time to go, like get out of there. So you will ovulate a few days after your trigger. I think it's between 24 and 48, potentially 36 hours, you're gonna ovulate. And then they're going to also put you on progesterone. It's gonna be a vaginal suppository, and you're gonna be taking that twice a day. So you take that and you just have your embryo transfer. So nothing crazy medication wise. You shouldn't be having like crazy reactions like the fully medicated, which I do not want to do another fully medicated, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, the partially medicated cycles or modified natural did not work for us. So we are going to move back to the fully medicated cycle. When that's going to happen, I don't know yet. I am definitely excited to see if this is the answer, because it did work for us the first time, and the modified natural has never worked. So, which is sad because I really don't want to do fully medicated. So all of this information that I have been talking about is online. You can ask ChatGPT, you can Google it. There's so many resources online, and what I'm saying is already completely Googleable. So if you have any questions, definitely leave a comment below. If you have questions about my cycle, please let me know. I would love to answer any questions that you have. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video.